Dr. Devendra Sharma is a scientist and a former journalist at Indian Express. He is well-known commentator and an impressive speaker on globalization, WTO, food policy issues, agriculture and development-related matters. Feature articles and trade policy comments written by him are regularly published in Deccan Herald, India Together and Cross Currents. His thought-provoking articles have also been published in various prestigious foreign journals like The Ecologist and New Scientist from London. And I will Mr. Ryan.
Good morning. It's really fascinating to see so many youngsters interested in the profession of journalism. Young ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, I have also had the pleasure of working in journalism with the Indian Express. That was my first job. At the time, Indian Express was the Indian Express. Sometimes you're lucky to be at the right place at the right time, and I was one of them who was lucky to be at the right place at the right time. I'm sure you would be reading about the contemporary journalism history, so you'll find what Indian Express had done in the 80s and prior to that. I left journalism after 10 years of starting off as an agriculture correspondent with the Indian Express, and then becoming the development editor when I left my paper. The development editor was something which was not even thought of in journalism. And being the first development editor of an Indian newspaper, one had a tremendous responsibility to at least introduce, first of all, what development is to the readers. And then after 10 years of being in journalism with various stints and so on, and then I got an opportunity to go to Nepal to launch a newspaper called the Kathmandu Post. So what we look up to is various issues concerning the entire gamut of food and agriculture. But before I begin on this, I want to ask you another couple of questions. What is the GDP now in this country? Any guesses? 7.5%. Okay. Okay, let's assume it's 7.5%. Okay. Now, out of the 7.5%, if you just break up the GDP, you all know that the manufacturing sector has only picked up in the last quarter, 2-3 months. The exports are down. Government is trying to give subsidies to exports also to increase. The industry is already under recession, as we all know. Agriculture is in a bad shape. So what are those, the pillars on which the GDP should grow? And yet the GDP is of course not 9% plus as it was earlier, but after the recession it is still from 6.7% to it has grown to 7.5%. Should we be asking a question, where is this growth taking place? Now if you break up, you will be surprised that 30 families of India, just 30 families, their economic wealth adds on to 1/3 of the country's GDP. Which means if these 30 families were to migrate to America or to Middle East, wherever we can send them off to, our GDP comes crashing down by 1/3. Okay, this is official thing. I'm only sharing from you from the official estimates. So roughly 3% is the share of these 30 rich families of India, the economic wealth of these 30 families. So we have 7.5%, minus 3 is how much? Sorry? 4.5. We had the 6-pay commission. 6-pay commission gave the higher income to the people. That share is 1.9% of the GDP. So add on 1.5%, delete another 1.5%. What is the GDP?
2.6.
2.6. Now you tell me what is so great about 2.6% that we should be proud of. What I am trying to tell you is that we need to decipher this, and as young journalists, as the future, you should try to ask that question. What is GDP? Why are we given this? Every day the figures are being tossed around. Somebody 9%, somebody says 12% or whatever it is. Is that the real growth the country is talking about? Okay, this is one aspect. Let us look at the other one. We have a population of about 1.1 billion, am I right? Out of the 1.1 billion, how many are going to bed hungry every night?
According to the official estimation, 26 crore.
26 crores. Let us take 26 crores, although I would say 32 crore people go to bed hungry every night. Let us say 26 crore, which means 1/4 of the country is hungry. We are also the disease capital of the world. Name any disease, we are number one. Yeah, whether it is tuberculosis, whether it is cancer, whether it is
Diabetes.
am I right? Diabetes, we are the capital now. So are these all these things compounded in the GDP? GDP does not reflect all these things. Okay. And then on top of it, you had a report recently from the Tendulkar committee, which said that since the economic liberalization, the poverty percentage they have calculated now is 37%. Earlier it was 26%. So they have jacked it up to 37%. In my understanding, and if you have seen my writings, even in I think International also, where I said that this 37% is not the poverty line. It is basically the hunger line.
Coming back to the poverty issues we're talking about, 80% are living under poverty. So, can it be viable if we move out that 60 crore part of a chunk from that farming to the secondary sector industry by giving them ITI trainings and polytechnics and vocational training? Is it okay that we move out a major chunk from there so that they can earn their living and not depend so much on farming?
Production is increasing. But on the other hand, we are seeing that farmers are committing suicide and many are lean. So how is it that the production is good?
Okay.
That developmental model that India is currently witnessing is not favorable for growth. It's all farce to some extent. What according to you is the developmental model that can suit India in terms of growth?
Now I'll club all these things into one or two way. Now first of all, about the issue of food security and agriculture and so on, why the farmers are committing suicides, also related to this trend whether it is possible to move the population outside and so on. So as I said, 60 crore is the farming population. 60 crore is the farming population, and 60 crore also is 1/4 of the world's farming population. Okay, so that tells you how much of emphasis we have, or how much of pressure we are under as far as agriculture is concerned. Production is one aspect, but I'm talking about the human beings involved in agriculture. Now the problem is that the World Bank, as I said earlier, has said that you go into this model of shifting populations from the rural to the urban areas. This is the one kind of mainline theory which says that if you have more agriculture, the country cannot economically grow. That is one argument, and that is what Manmohan Singh goes on saying, that for any country to grow, you have to reduce dependence on agriculture.
On behalf of Indian Institute of Journalism and New Media, I would like to express sincere thanks to Mr. Devendra Sharma for sparing his precious time and giving us a valuable information.